evening, Dr. Chabra, sir. How are you? Thank you. So, shall we start the session?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Uh, Thank you, sir. So, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's a courage to continue that counts. Whether it's positive thought, a very good evening to our esteemed member of Team Research Foundation of India, our distinguished subject expert, Dr. Sri Shabra sir, and all dear participants. I'm Nikita Khandelwal, the program coordinator for the FTP on practical aspect of ICT tools and online teaching in current scenario. I heartily welcomes you all on for this FDP on behalf of Research Foundation of India. This education journey has been made possible through the collaborative efforts of Research Foundation of India in association with Parul University and Faculty of Commerce, Parul University, Gujarat, and it is sponsored by Shodh Malwa, Eklavya University, HERF, ARGA, and EduAcademy.in. As we all know that today it is marked the day 1 and 3rd of March and Monday of August FDP, which is organized by Research Foundation of India. Research Foundation of India is strictly working for the social upliftment and higher education quality and Indian research promotion in the form of events like international and national conferences, seminars, workshops, symposium, and other activities. Research Foundation of India works for the integration of intellectual ideas across the globe to fulfill the thrust of innovation of humanity. Research Foundation of India Research Foundation of India is concerned with improving the educational process by encouraging scholarly inquiry related to education and practical applications of research results. Research Foundation of India is working for research and development for higher education and it has signed MOU with top universities of India. Research Foundation of India's members are faculties, researchers, graduate students, scientists, professionals with rich and diverse expertise in education research. Research Foundation of India does not take any financial sponsor from any government body and it has organized 1000 plus international conferences and workshops, FDPs, symposia, etc. all over the world. Now, Research Foundation of India is having 87 chapters in India and 18 chapters in Asian and other countries and categorized in five boards: West, East, South, North, and Central Zone. So, with these, today the day one and the topic for the day one is responsibility of teacher and HEI. And for this, a hugely knowledgeable person, Dr. Shreesh Chabra sir, is here with all of us. But before we start the journey, let's have a look on sir's achievement journey. So, very good evening, sir. Dr. Shabra sir holds a PhD degree in labor welfare. Sir has a teaching experience of almost 22 years, wherein he taught at undergraduate, postgraduate, executive program, PhD coursework level, and guided research project. In his present assignment, Sir is associated as associate professor with Delhi College Business School, Indore. He has published in national and international journals, conferences, and dailies also. Sir is associated as reviewer with Global Journal of Labour, University of the Witwatersrand, South Africa, Journal of HRM, Science Publishing Group, New York, USA Journal Press India, Case Focus Journal, UK, Common Ground Research Network, University of Illinois Research Park, USA, and International Management Conference, ASE, Bucharest. As a member of editorial board, Sir is associate with Annals of Human Resource Management, Research Indonesia, International Journal of Science and Management Studies, Universal Journal of Business and Management, USA and International Journal of Academic Research and Development. Sir is working as a mentor with Startup India, a Government of India platform for nurturing entrepreneurship, Bean Cube Incubation Center backed by Government of Chhattisgarh and as coordinator Indore Zone Malwa Research Foundation of India and member of Asia Research News, IFERP and INCs. Sarah has been session chair in national and international conferences and has also conducted MGPs for IMA, MSME, State Electricity Board, police, and other corporates as well. Rotary Club, Amateur Business School, EMGSSN Trust, and other institutes of scholars have also recognized its efforts and contribution in our field. So with this, I feel it's my huge honor to invite Dr. Sage Chabra sir on RFI's platform without any more further delay. Sir is renowned for his exceptional high team knowledge in his area. So with this, sir, please welcome. Now the focus is yours. Please hold the platform.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you, Nikita ma'am.
That's
So
right. That's right.
I thank my RFI family, especially Saurabh sir, Ajay Jain sir, for for this opportunity that they have given me to be with you. I extend a warm good evening to everyone. People who have joined us from across the India, and it's my privilege that I am meeting with you, everyone. So through RFI. So, I welcome you all, being a part of RFI family. I welcome you all to this session today. Now, when we talk about this topic as to the responsibilities of teacher, I'm sure that most of the people who would be listening to me would be and are obviously a teacher. Okay, so please use this tool, hand raise tool, to answer a certain question or interact with me during any time when you feel like. So, am I audible? I believe am I audible to everyone? Uh, okay. So, when we talked about this idea as to responsibilities of teacher, so there were different ideas on to how we would be shaping in this topic. So what I would be doing, I would not be giving you a list of do's, don'ts, or please don't expect any theories or any models or anything coming out. We all are teachers. Okay, some of you would be equally seasoned. You might have been teaching for years now. Yes, I believe that would have happened. So if that is so, so Nusrat Raza sir, soon there would be screen sharing. That would be, please we wait. I would be sharing my PPT with you soon. So so no. So before we actually divulge into topic, I want to make one thing clear to you, that as I was telling, that please don't expect any models or theories or do's and don'ts. I would be sharing more of my experience as to of all these years of working. Uh, how has been my engagement or my idea of teacher? And I also have a special guest today, Neha Sharma ma'am. She's an edu entrepreneur. Plus, she's also the MP State Council member for Research Foundation of India. So please allow 1 minute to Neha ma'am to join in, and with her, after her interaction, I would be sharing my screen with you. So please allow me 1 minute, please. Good evening, Neha ma'am.
Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone.
So it's a privilege that the person I was talking about, she is Neha Sharma ma'am. She is with us today. She's an edu entrepreneur, and as I told you, she's also the MP State Council member for Research Foundation of India. So, ma'am, as an edu entrepreneur, I would have certain, since we are talking about discussing this topic of what should I say, of responsibility of teacher.
Mm.
How do you see teaching in general?
Well, thank you so much for the question, sir. And I'm pretty sure you have with your experience, and I would be like a small person in front of you to speak about teaching and the responsibilities. But however, see, in my organization, I see primarily teaching as a responsibility of caring about the students, then teaching. Like, first, a teacher has to become a caregiver, then they teach. So, like in my organization, we call it like a peace kind of thingy, where first is you need to plan for the kids, then you need to execute for the what you have planned. Then, of course, whatever you are doing, you are teaching, you have to examine, you have to assess what you are teaching. But most important factor is the C, which is caring. So if my teachers are not caring enough, they don't care about the job, they don't care about the teaching, the students, and the organization as a whole, their responsibility um, is like the that is the main factor of the responsibility of teacher. That's what I think.
Ma'am, you have introduced the concept of mother teacher.
Yes.
Can you please explain that?
See, in my organization, we usually have small kids, right? So, with the kids who have just come out of their home, the main thing a teacher can do is to become a substitute of a mother. So we call it a mother teacher in in spite of just teacher. So we say that teaching is not the only thing they are doing. They would be taking care of the kids. They would be understanding the process they are going through. For each and every kid, they would be sitting in a round table kind of thing, so that each teacher can face a child. It's not that teacher is not looking at the kids. So every kid can connect with the teacher just as they connect with their mother at the home. So that is the concept initially, but sooner, as they grow, they once they have like passed that age of 5 6 years of age, then teaching takes over, and then mother teacher takes a back seat, because kids have to be given that confidence that now they can become independent and um, grow. So initially, it's a mother teacher concept, which we follow at our school.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you see that? Like, say, you have given us a hint that once the student grows at a different age, then but throughout, as a teacher, whether you are teaching at a say at a school level, preschool level, or at a university level. So, how do you find that this? Because most of our participants are from the college or university level. So, how do you find that the teacher role shifts from a mother teacher?
See, I think it's the same as the parents' role shifts with their kid. When they have got a child, approximately 1.5 2 years of age, they take their hand in hand, and they teach them how to cross the street. They teach them how to walk and all. So, but once they grow, they don't hold their parents' hand, but they know at the back of their mind that parents are there. They are going to support us. So it's the same thing that happens with the teaching as well. For the initial years, you have to become a mother teacher, but soon as they grow, like if we talk about the university level, the kids are looking for a support system. They are looking for someone who can they rely on. So they are looking for a role model as well, we can call that. So they would be having so many answers like we used to have in our earlier ages. So they are looking for someone who they can go to freely and talk to, not just about studies or assignments or projects, but in general anything they are going through in their life, which I think then can bond the teacher with the student as well, and they can perform better in the universities as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ma'am, two more simple questions for you. Ma'am, one is that say patience requirement. Like say to all the participants. Let me give you a simple question. So ready with basic mathematics? Since you ma'am also come with a background of mathematics, everyone is ready with the basic mathematics. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. 18 divided by 4. So tell me the quotient and the remainder. The first one, please. 18 divided by 4. Tell me the quotient and the remainder. This I am asking from a class 2. This I am asking a class 2 question.
Or coefficient 2 as reminder.
2 as reminder. Sir, it took you another less than a minute, I believe.
Yes, sir. 30
Great.
seconds.
Maybe 30 seconds. Ma'am, if the same question would have been given in the class for a class 1 or class 2 mathematics, how much time would it take?
Depend, are they giving the exam or they have just
In, in,
been
in
taught?
general, in general, ma'am, in general, like
In general, like they will take at least a minute or so.
a
They'll
minute or
yeah,
more than a
definitely,
minute.
definitely. They need a pen and paper to solve it. They
So,
won't
so,
be able to do it by
so they
their
would
own.
be, they were doing all that with
Exactly,
science and everything.
exactly. They'll be making the brackets and doing the multiplication and finding out the answer. Yes,
Great. So, and obviously you need to know the tables of
exactly. They
20.
need to know the table of four as well.
So, based on this question is my question now. Okay.
Okay.
Based on, this simple mathematics. How is patience important in teaching? How much is patience important in teaching? Irrespective of the later. That's why I took a simplest example of, something of class 1 mathematics. How is patience important in teaching?
Like personally, if I say patience is needed everywhere, no matter what profession you are in, no matter if you are a homemaker or a working professional or you're working from home, no matter where you are, even if you're driving a car per se, you need patience because streets are they are filled with the people who don't know what how to drive as well,
True, true.
so on that note, for teachers it is 100% requirement. They should be patient enough to understand, to listen to the kids, to know from where they're coming from. So, like for the early years, it is very tough because kids cannot explain what they want, they cannot communicate, and teachers just have to understand with their actions and emotions that what they are going through. But when we talk about the university level, when kids have just entered this 18 and 19 age, it's quite difficult to be patient with the kids of different backgrounds when we don't know how they're going to react with something you're going to say. But my simple idea is, don't expect from day one that kid's going to be listening to everything that you're going to say. So you have to be patient enough. You have to give them at least a month's time so that they can understand you better. And as I said earlier, you have to become a role model for them so that they'll understand what they are dealing with. Who is the teacher. Let them know that who's the boss kind of thing. So for that you need to become patient, and you cannot just demand respect. You have to earn it with the way you're gonna teach them, you're gonna deal with them. So it just happened gradually. So for that time you have to be patient with them.
Thank you, ma'am. One last question of your time. Uh,
Okay.
uh, so, like, so, ma'am, as a teacher, I would have multiple roles, or
Okay.
I'm looked in a different perspective by different people.
Okay.
So, like, say, for a student, I'm a teacher. For parent, I am a different role. For management, so how do you see, in a larger perspective, a teacher has to be? From a management perspective, I'm answering from asking, or from from a say a parent management student. If we try and connect this,
See, I think everybody is doing a multiple job. No one is into a single job. So if you are a teacher, you are a son, a father, a brother at home, so you have got multiple jobs already. So it should not burden you when you are going to work for an organization which require more than just teaching, because they are looking for all rounders. So even in the cricket we see that bowler is not just bowling, he is doing everything. He is batting, he is fielding. So that's the same thing, that people require all rounders everywhere. So I think you should take it as an opportunity, that they are thinking that you are capable enough to do some more things other than teaching, and you should find it as a break from your teaching.
ma'am. But since you talked about, I'm sorry to intervene. Since you talked about that thing, that you talked about some comfort things.
Yes.
So, over a period of years as a teacher, I find comfort with subjects. I find things.
Yes.
Now, management wants to do something else.
So I think it's gonna be an opportunity for you because
So, you're trying to pull me out of the comfort zone.
yes, that's an opportunity for you. So if I am giving you a job for teaching maths, which is not your forte, it's not your subject, if I am giving you an opportunity to take care of the kids for some particular function or, some event management kind of thing, if I am taking you out of your just, general management subject teaching, if I'm taking you out of it, it means it's an opportunity for you that you are gonna prove yourself for what you are worth of. It's not just one thing you can do. In Hindi there is a word which is called koop manduk, which is like a frog in the well. So you don't want to become that, do you? You should be a fish in the ocean. You can try everything, and once you start doing that, you'll enjoy and you'll learn new things. So I think you should be open for all the opportunities, because out of comfort zone is an opportunity. Yes.
Thank you. So, ma'am, one thing, since I've been this thing, only one simple last question. I remember, at some point of time during our conversation, you said that eat the frog. So,
Yes.
can you explain that in this context?
I think it is for everybody. I learned it when at my first job in Australia, like ages ago. There was this book called Eat Your Frog, and which means like the toughest job you have for the day. Like when you go out and you know that you have to deal with someone, maybe your boss or some colleague who is not, as per your liking, but you have to deal with that person, or there is some particular subject that you don't want to tackle on. uh, this book says that you have to do that thing first. So once that, because frog eating is the worst thing someone can do, and if you can eat that frog first thing in the morning, you have got a whole day, you can do so many things, and you have got your mind clear out of that worry about whatever thing that was panicking you. So that is one thing you should always do, that I always do. Even now I follow that. The worst and the most difficult thing, I try to finish it up as early as I can, so that I've got rest of the day for myself to plan for the things what can do and I have to do. So it makes my mind free.
Thank you, ma'am. So only one simple last question for you. Parents, when it
Yes.
comes to parents, uh, I'm really sorry if I've been using, off-track word or non-parliamentary language, right? But they deal with the school or with any institution that, that they're, since they are paying the fee, they are so-called customers.
Yeah, it is no longer an institute. वो गुरु शिष्य परंपरा अभी इतना नहीं है. Everything is looked upon as a business. So if you're paying, sorry, so if you're paying something, you want an output for what you have paid. But with education, it's a bit different. We need a 50% partnership from the parents as well. We need to know which background they are coming from, the kids I'm talking about. And we need parents help sometimes with the problematic kids. Not all the parents are like that, but yes, few of them, you'll have like 95% of the class is same, but few 5%, everyone's gonna deal with them. And the only thing you can do is first with patience, and secondly, talk to them. Don't hide things from them. You have to tell them, and the most polite way you can, that this is the problem with your kid, and this is what we need your help with, so that we both can do something about your kid, about the studies, or if there is some other thing that they are facing issues with. So yes, that can be an issue, but it can be resolved with patience, and definitely with the help of your peers. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. So this was Neha, ma'am, for us.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am,
Thank you so much for having me.
thank you, ma'am. It's so kind of you to have agreed to, speak with our audiences. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
So now we continue on to what we were, with inputs from Neha, ma'am. Different types of perspectives when we talk with an entrepreneur like Neha, ma'am. we are definitely, we would get different inputs on as to how, from management perspective, how teaching or teachers are like to be. One thing, for sure, I like about her organization is that she always talks to me in that thing that, sir, this is, we are in a service of teaching. We are not in a business of teaching. So, that makes a difference. And please remember this thing when I talk to you on a different idea. So with this, as I told you, it would be more of an experiential sharing. It would not be, any type of lecturing that would happen now. Okay. Because I sincerely, with what I said to you, that teaching is something that is, what you can say, teaching is not a is not a profession. It's just not a profession. It's a responsibility. And please remember these words, because when I would link it with a different idea, so you would get it better on that thing. So I'm pretty sure that we all would be, getting these messages. Okay, we all would be getting such messages on maybe either Guru Purnima or maybe on to say Teachers Day. We all would be getting such messages by some of the students, and they would be talking to us, the type of respect. And I always, hold this thing in a very high manner, even when I talk to the heads of the organizations, that even being after being a CEO, nobody would touch your feet. Okay, but otherwise also nobody would, would touch your feet on that way, as they would, a CEO would bow down even to a teacher also. Okay. So that's what the respect that our profession commands. That's the, that's the nobility still we have got in our profession. So I would like to, share something, and then we carry on with the again the flow of that thing. uh, okay, here we go.
What's up? How you doing? All right, guys. To Kill a Mockingbird, Chapter 2. Open up your books. Hey, John. I really think you're going to enjoy this book. All right, John. What's going on? Just listen. Kill a Mockingbird, Chapter 1. Hello?
Hey, it's John. Sorry to call you so late, miss.
What's going on?
Can I ask a question about tonight's homework?
Of course.
अरे आजकल कुछ पोस्ट नहीं कर रही हो तुम? बिग प्रॉब्लम है.
So I believe, this video is not an exaggeration. Okay. uh, some or the others, someone of us would have made this difference in some child's at some point of time, what Neha ma'am was suggesting us. So at some point of time, we all have, made some difference to a kid's life, and that's how we are remembered. Okay, that's how you are praised. That's how every one of us is remembered on to that thing. So when it comes to responsibility, teacher and teaching as a responsibility, you can look into various type of things. I would know. I would not go into the detail explaining everything onto that thing. But definitely, I would talk about few aspects of this thing. See, at times there may be a clash between you know the personal professional commitment, as again Neha ma'am was telling us that that does happen with every profession. Okay? With every profession it does happens that there are clashes of the personal and professional agendas, and that's how striking a difference or striking a commonality between the personal professional ideas, or trying to get on to that thing, that how things can be done better, would makes a difference. Okay, so that's how things can be done in a better way. Or when see, every organization would have certain, what I should say, certain norms in their own way. I'm not talking about rules and regulations, please, but everyone would have their own norms of it, and we need to, as a teacher, we need to abide by those norms. One, then every student is an individual in himself or herself. We need to look into that individuals. Give me 1 minute, please. Give me 1 minute, please. Sorry. So as an individual, student as an individual. So I'm pretty sure for all these years that we have all been teaching, we might have met different individuals, not only students. Every batch is different. The certain subject that you taught in one batch was, which received an overwhelming response, received a very low response or a very mild response when it comes to say, what should I say, in the next batch. Certain pointers or certain things that you told to batch were well received, while in the same in another batch it was all lull. So it can happen with with students. Some students are so attentive, some students at the back bench whom we thought that he or she would be never change. You have seen actual transformations happening in them. So we deal with individuals. So if you are teaching a batch of say 60, if you are teaching say in different courses, at one point of time I was teaching an undergrad, a postgrad, a part-time person, the part-time MBA people, and also the PhD. So I was talking in four different areas, four different subjects to four different type of people, or four different maturity levels. And believe me, if you might have, most of you would have taught at undergrad and postgrad level equally. And believe me, your experience at the way you might have delivered the subject, at times it might have happened with you also, that you might have taught the same or similar subject at two different, at UG and a PG level. Okay, so that would give you a different idea altogether of how things can be actually. Okay, that the point that I'm trying to make, that you we are dealing with uh, we are dealing with uh, individuals. Okay, so we need to, it's irrespective of that thing, that whatever the situation that we are facing, I give you, okay, let me ask you certain questions now. Okay, uh okay, 1 second please. Okay, let me ask you certain questions. And please, feel free to answer. And please remember that you are answering on a public platform. So this video is, this entire conversation is there available on YouTube also. So please, refrain yourself from answering it with a particular organization names or anything. Anything that you won't let it publicly be presented. Please refrain it from that. With this disclaimer, let me ask you a certain question. You are late for the someday it happened due to traffic, any reason. Let's not get into the reason. Genuine, non-genuine, casually late, see, genuinely late, irrespective of what has happened. You are late in the college, okay, or the university. You are rushing to the class. Your HOD stops you in between, okay, and he or she also might be, some off thingy, some something might have gone wrong with him. And practically, for all good purposes, he comes on you, he thrashes you, okay. They're in the corridor itself, not too far from the class, okay. And then you say sorry and everything, however you have explained that situation, and now you are entering into the class. What the situation? Okay, you got late for any reason. Your HOD or whomsoever was the director, whatever it is, position doesn't matter. These are just examples. He was standing there. He saw you coming in late. He was again not in a good mood. He thrashed you just, maybe 10, 20 meters from the class. And then he said, go, rush to the class. And now you're rushing into the class. How important is this emotions? That you are overwhelmed with certain emotions that you are feeling. You have just been thrashed, okay, that too in the corridor, and your class is waiting for you. What would you do? Anyone, please? Let's keep this interactive, okay, let's keep this interactive. Anyone would like to interact me on this thing?
Sir,
Good
I'll
evening.
try. Yes,
Sir.
yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Preeti Sharma from Sabharti Dental College, professor.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, sir. I believe that if I had been in such a situation, then I would
Mhm.
have controlled my emotions. And a
Okay.
normal lecture, I would have taken a normal lecture, but definitely
Mm-hmm.
I will not show it on my face or in my conduct or behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have to keep my emotions in check. That is my responsibility.
Okay, great. Vishal sir, you were about to say something.
Same, sir. Same as ma'am told. I'll try to make control. I'll try to control my emotions, and I'll take my class.
Okay. Okay. There is a message also. So you are saying I will forget everything and try to focus on my teaching. How soon this focus would be like? Agreed. Almost all of us would answer the same. How soon this, we would make sure that this thing is not passed on to student. Okay, let me twist the story a bit. Once you have entered into the class, a student has made, a funny comment on some other student. Now, he has given you a weak volcano tip to outburst. What would you do?
Yes, it happens with us. We are human beings, and I think it depends. It varies from
Absolutely
person to person. Okay.
true.
Yes, for few minutes I'll be off, like my mood will not be very good. Yes, I agree with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I think I will try to control again my emotions. Yes, the behavior I think will vary from person to person. How strong
True.
he is to
True.
face the thing. I think
True.
so.
True. Great. Absolutely. So Jyotsna Bhatt ma'am has said, I would control my emotion, understand the responsibilities of my senior, and focus for the class. Might start class with some lighter note. Great. Sharma Saab has said, will there be any exam or assignment in this FDP? Sir,
Uh,
sir,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
uh,
Will there be anything?
no, sir, to the best of my knowledge, as far as I am talking to you,
Hmm.
I can talk about my session. I can, since I am talking to you,
Hmm.
so we are interacting on that thing. So
Okay, sir.
that would be a great thing. That would be a great thing to do. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you, sir.
this. Okay, Nusrat ma'am says, I will behave decently and believe that they will understand that they should not misbehave. Great. So, all of us, that's what I said. I feel very happy when I meet colleagues from different colleges on this platform. And that's how we all are enriched. You find that people are thoroughly professional in their conduct. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that once you get seasoned in this, say, um, in this profession, you understand that the student is not at the fault of anything. Student is not at the receiving end, he's at the beneficiary end. And that's how our things changes. So despite all this, the responsibilities that we'll be talking in, and all that work life balance and everything that you might have gone through all these studies and everything, I'm not getting into it as of now on any theories, as I promised. What is not so good about teaching? Okay, let's start with this idea that what is not so good about teaching, what is something that uh, maybe at times might baffle us, as Preeti ma'am rightly put it. We, after all, we all are individuals, we all are human beings, we are not descendants, we all are human beings. So what is not so good about teaching as a profession? I've made in certain points, I believe some of this you would agree with. I do not want you to agree openly, but it's okay. Way back in 2001 2, when I started formal teaching career of mine, uh, I was listening to a director from a very prestigious institution of India, and he said that if you want to experience politics, experience it in educational institutions. Because for politics, he went on to explain that because for politics, you need good amount of time, okay, to gossip around, to spread news around, to collect news from, and all that happening. And for that, teaching is one of the best professions. I asked him, when I was a student, so I asked, once I was contemplating that, why don't I join this profession? So I went on to ask one of my teachers, sir, how is it like to be a teacher? And he said that, say, at that point of time, college times was for 6 hours. So he said that for 6 hours I come every day, and out of the 6 hours, I spend almost 3 hours in teaching in my class, and then I spend 1 or 2 hours, 1 hour in an administrative work which has been assigned to me. I take lunch, then I solve the queries, I prepare for my next day notes and things like that, and then I leave. Okay, so please remember this story. Okay, please remember this story, because I would be coming on shortly onto this point. Okay, let me ask you this question. All of us have faced the heat of politics. Whether, as I said, please don't answer in anything that you can, you should remember that this is on a public platform. All of us have faced the heat of politics. Somebody would be, going to with a chabi to your boss saying that, sir, look, this is what is happening and you are not aware. In the name of that, how they drive the system, there is nothing good in the system. There would be different types of agendas of people in which they want to pull you in. The worst part of this politics is that they involve students. I don't know if it might have happened to you. God forbids it happens with you. I've seen this happening. Okay, I narrate a small case to you. I won't take the names. uh, One of a young man, he joined a organization, and he was specializing in HR. Now he was given a subject of HR specialization, and this subject was so called pet of again a so called senior teacher with that institution. Now, what he did was, he somehow, he made a comment in the class that, okay, this time I am teaching you this subject. Now, the students would ask, sir, but this subject you taught this subject with our seniors. Our seniors told that you taught this subject to them. No, no, some new guy has joined in, and he would be talking this subject. I'm not pretty sure how experienced is he, or to teach you this subject, but nonetheless it's okay, since I come from that field and I have this experience, that experience, and I've been that's the reason I have been teaching this subject. Okay, because it requires a lot of practical exposure. But it's okay, even if he's teaching you, but he's a fresher. Let's, don't worry about it, he would do his job. Answer this question now as a student. As a student, I'm asking you this question. If this is what is delivered to you, or if I use this word, if this is that is fed to you, how would you react? Would you accept this new teacher?
No.
That is what happened exactly, Vishal sir. Within 10 days of joining, students practically created this scene that he does not know how to teach this subject, and we need this teacher, and you can give him some other subject and he knows how to teach, but he's inexperienced. And they almost spoke in the same language, and that is how we also discovered that this is how it has flowed in. Okay, so remember this thing, that this is what, that's the dirty part of it. And this is not one, instance. I can narrate many such instances to you, wherein, to show that they have got an upper hand, teachers, senior teachers involve students against the junior teachers. Okay, with the person of similar, same profession, just because some subject was not given to this person, he involved students, okay, to give a negative feedback about certain person. And believe me, he resigned. So that's how, that's how I am telling you that office politics, if you want to see a dreaded office politics, I'm not saying that, it doesn't happen with any other organization. It is common. It's a human nature. Okay, competition exists, politics exists. That's a common nature. But one of the dreaded kind of politics, okay, if it is not in a political party, it is in education sector. Okay, and I've given you that reason also, and I believe in one more or less. The problem is with those people who don't know how to handle it. Okay, if you're not a good player in this politics, then you would face, you would be at the receiving end, and then you would face the heat of it. Okay, not everyone, is so well versed with this idea of politics. Anyways, the next idea, as I was talking to you, this is something which, with which I request all the 70 people who are sitting out here. As a parent, I'm requesting you, the first thing, we being in teaching profession, please don't try to teach the kids that after all we pay the fees. Please stop teaching this. I've heard it from parents, and I feel really bad about it. See, when it comes to someone else's kid whom you are teaching, you feel that after all, they are not customers, they are my students. When it is your own son or daughter, you feel that after all, we are paying fees. How do you change that stance? Okay, this is what is fed from the family. Go and ask your teacher; he would answer it. Okay, so when I was a student, if I did not perform, I was questioned in front of the principal and the teacher during a PTM. Okay, that was a worst thing, that your parents are called at school, because PTMs were not, that frequent as how they have happened now. If my father was called in a PTM, that means, that was a serious issue. Okay, so I was questioned that why this result. In today's era, the teacher is questioned why this result. That's how, that's how, if you can make sense out of this two things. So that's how the table has turned, because with so many institutions, with everything and big promises that marketing teams goes and makes to the student type of community, okay, that everything would happen. You would get Volvo buses, bus would pick you up from your doorstep, and whatnot would happen just to procure admissions. They are promised tall and, beyond expectations types, to just to get admissions. When they actually get into things, they actually start, getting a check of reality. Then they start feeling the heat. They start feeling that, many students open up with us and they tell us that this is what was promised by the marketing team, this is what has happened, this is what has happened, and then they actually get a reality check times. So stop. Even as a teacher, as a head of the member, I was listening to a very senior professor back few days. I was, fortunate to. He was talking about Indian knowledge system. Okay, what Neha ma'am also touched upon, the Guru Shishya Parampara. He was talking about knowledge, and he says that he was giving an example. Sir is a principal and renowned in Gujarat. He was giving this example. Uh, a teacher came rushing to my cabin. Okay, and he says that, sir, have you looked into this class 3 of, taken by some teacher? Look, he's talking on to phone. He's using his mobile phone. And then, sir, how would, uh, discipline be maintained and whatnot? You understand that how. And he says that, kid, I was also watching through my camera that he was, using his mobile. So, do I have got any senior? Do I have got any HODs or directors in this quorum, or any senior faculty who is responsible, also responsible, or coordinator who is also responsible with an admin job like this? Anyone? Anyone in the quorum?
Sir, I am HOD in my department. I have around
Great,
11 faculty working under me.
great, sir. Now you would be, very fit for answering this question. So, sir, this is the incidents which has happened in your organization. How would you respond to the person, one, who is sitting next to your table, okay, and two, whom you saw in your camera also before this person came in with a so-called complaint, and you know that, what is the reason of he complaining to you? You understand that? How would you deal with two people?
Pardon, sir. The issue. Sorry, I missed
The,
this part. The
okay.
the issue which is there.
Yeah, some teacher who is taking a class, who is taking the class, and he was seen using a mobile phone in the class. Now, this another teacher, he came in to report you that, sir, he's using the mobile. I just crossed from the class. He was using the mobile. So how would you maintain discipline and this and that? And all mirch masala was there. My question is, anyone
Uh,
can answer for that matter. My question is, one,
mm,
how would you respond to the teacher who is sitting next to your table, who has come with so-called complaint or concern about discipline in an organization? Okay, and you know why he has come to you. And two, what would you tell to that teacher? How would you respond to that teacher? These two questions. Anyone can respond for that matter.
Sir, I can answer.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, normally, whenever such incidents happen,
Mhm.
of course, I have noticed it. Suppose whenever I am the invigilator in exam also, some
Mhm.
students have been using mobile.
Okay.
Normally, what I do nowadays, there are lots of law abuse and many more things are going on.
True.
And being the male faculties, we are subject to false sexual harassment cases also.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in such cases, what I do, if somebody is complaining to me,
Hmm.
I remain calm. But whenever it comes to examination issue, secretly I deduct 25 marks, and eventually the students get back paper.
Okay.
That is the thing. But in terms of class, things will be different again.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. In any other response? Anyone would like to comment upon this situation?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
We instruct the students that
Mm-hmm.
taking consideration of this possibility that they might have mobile phones and all digital devices, we
Yes.
instruct them to submit such devices or any notes or something. We give time
Mm-hmm.
for 5 minutes and then we start the exam. This can be
Okay.
done.
Ma'am, if it is a case of a normal exam, normal classroom, then
Normal classroom mobile is allowed, sir. They can Google some means I am teaching some
the
medicinal
problem is
about
that,
medicinal
ma'am,
plants.
you are the head, ma'am, Seema, ma'am. The problem is that you are the head, and some teacher has brought this complaint that another teacher who is taking the class is using his phone in the class.
Okay, teacher is using the phone. I thought
Yes.
students are using. As
No,
students
no.
are allowed to Google. Uh,
Yes, in many classes they do.
yes, yes, yes.
Hello, sir. May I?
Yes. Yes, Ishwak, please.
Yeah, sir. I believe. Uh, First of all, I think you correctly talked about the office politics in educational institutions, and the
Hmm.
second thing I believe is that we got to understand what Iqbal said. Alama Iqbal, the Urdu poet, said that बदलते दौर में जिसने बदलना नहीं सीखा डाल
Hmm.
देती है गर्दिश आया उसे खतरे में. I think
Great, great, great.
this is an age of gadgets, machines,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
and using a phone in a classroom, it could be a subjective thing. The teacher
Hmm.
might have some emergency to use the
Great.
phone, to,
Absolutely
to,
great.
to use the phone, and I think we need to upgrade ourselves, that now phone is essential commodity for a man. So
Hmm.
therefore we got to make the provisions, and we got to make things explainable to to the students and other faculty members, that there can be emergency, that there can be some urgency where we got to use the phone, and we got to look into the things subjectively. There can be no objective discipline about the phone, that look, that teacher is using the phone, so therefore he's breaking the discipline. No, it could not be like that. So and we got to,
Absolutely.
and I feel that we got to instill, and we got to inject such such things into our system, that we got to now accept the fact that we are changing to the extreme level of to the extreme level of modernization, to the extreme level of machines. So therefore we got to see that now we got to leave this, that using a phone could be the sort of an indiscipline. It could not be. I think after a few years, after a decade, this could be the new normal, using the phone in the classrooms, because
Hmm.
now we got to look into the different aspects, and we got to leave the prejudices behind that. Therefore I believe the admins have to be extremely efficient and intelligent to look into such matters and avoid any controversy.
Great. Absolutely great. Thank you, Ishwak sir, for your detailed reply. So
Thank you, sir.
that's how uh, yes, absolutely. Nusrat sir said it, ma'am said it right. If it is habitual of the teacher that to use the phone, then obviously you can watch, and that's what this. He also went on to tell that I would inquire first that if there is some emergency at your family or anything that has happened. If no, please, it's okay that please don't use this type of thing, so that the decorum of the class is maintained. So but at times what happens that management would have a differential idea of you being a teacher. Okay, at times I've seen that that the work in certain organization, I have received this feedback. I would give you two ideas. One, I received this feedback from some of my colleagues in organization that the work of HODs in this organization is to see that nobody is free. Okay, the buses arrive at 10 and they leave from the campus at 5. So from 10 to 5, no teacher should be found free sitting in the cabin. Either he should have some work, he should be taking some classes, he or she means, I'm not being any gender specific, please. So the teacher should be seen in the classes or should be doing some work. No, except for that 15-20 minutes of lunchtime or a half an hour of lunchtime, there should be no wandering around, there should be no, nothing like. Okay, so people work in such organizations also. So that's what my point is, that management would have a differential. See, pe- teachers getting involved into marketing, teachers getting involved into other administrative jobs or event management or anything, that's a different idea. Now the ideas have shifted even further. Okay, the management have different ideas of keeping the teacher engaged, okay, in their own way. So, and especially, to try and get us more revenue, how you can, generate more revenue. So it is the focus. See, the focus primarily is not on essentially on maybe API scores, or maybe getting that teacher learns something new or teacher does something new. That has far gone. Okay, for many institutions, the focus is only upon that how teacher can be utilized better. And I'm sorry, I keep giving this example. Have you might all have in some point of life a sugarcane juice? Yes.
Uh, yes, sir.
Great, great. So now answer a simple question to me.
Mm.
You might
Okay.
have seen that how sugarcane juice is extracted, the machine
Yes.
which extract. Okay,
Yes.
whether
Yes.
manually or on a motor based system.
Mm.
My question is simple, and you know that once the sugarcane is pulled out, then again it is pulled fed into the machine, and again and again. That is exploitation of resources or optimal utilization of resources?
Sir, in my view, it's optimal utilization of resources.
Absolutely great. So that's how everyone, some organizations also use their resources.
Mm.
Okay, so then you should not feel bad about this thing, that you are being optimally utilized by management. Okay. So
That is.
that's what my point was, and that's how it affects your work life balance.
Mm.
Okay, that, and I believe most of you would have seen the worst type of work that you might have been doing during COVID, what you call as work from home. And
Mm.
during my research on work from home, I made it a point that, see, we have got these two separate ideas, work and home. Okay, that this is work, this is my leisure time. Work from home was a nightmare for most of us, wherein management would give a work at, say, in a so-called group meeting, they would give you a work at 9 in the night to be finished by 12 a.m. I'm talking about. And this is not something that you might have dealt only with corporates. How to keep engaged? Okay, come on Sunday, this is happening. A fair is happening on a Sunday. Come on this day, stay back. Boss would call you. How many times it happens with you that the boss calls for a meeting? Say your time is from 9 to 5, and the boss calls a meeting on 4:45. How many times it does it happens? Okay, so that's what I said. I don't want actually an answer from you that it happens, it doesn't happen, but that is what in general I have seen organizations, or my experience shows that this is what is that. And on the top of it, you often hear a comment from your bosses that we follow. See, since we train the would be corporate leaders, we also need to be a corporate person. So there is a time to get into the organization, but there is no time to leave the organization. Great. And what you are offering to them are the peanuts. Okay. And rule of HR is simple. If you throw peanuts, you would get only monkeys. You won't have lions to eat peanuts. Okay. So, and see, one respite, I always, as a teacher, I feel that one respite which is available to all of us is our class. The best place of the teacher is to be in the class. So, whenever it's time for the class, please make sure that you are the first one to enter into the class. Okay. My ex boss used to always tell me that you, as a teacher, are seen as a leader. If you are going late in the class, you don't have any right to ask any student not to enter because he or she is coming late. You don't have right to reject the entry of the student if he or she is getting late, or if he or she is coming late. Irrespective of that, you may be late by 5 minutes. He was late by 15 minutes, but both are late in the class. So you have to allow that students. So if it is, if teaching is not so good, then why we all are in this profession? And probably the last slide for my day, would have some answers to us for us. Answer this first question. You can look into this thing. You may, you have all the rights to remain silent. You use this disclaimer, please. And look into this thing that, why we are a teacher. All of us. Okay. That's the first question that I have asked with you. Are we here by choice or by compulsion? And when I say this, let me give an, I was attending an alumni meet of an institution, and one of the alumni made this comment that, all those who were good in their jobs, or all those who were good in their fields, they got a job in corporates. And see, we all are here. Okay. All those who could not do anything good in the company, or were could not crack a placement opportunity, became a teacher. That is his comment. He commented on this during an alumni meet. He was a regional manager at that point of time. Okay. It would hit you hard if you listen to it for the first time. It would hit you hard. Okay. You would question it. That am I, am I a kind of, what should I say, a low profiled person who has joined this profession, because I had no other choice. All those who had choice are now in a high paying job types, something like that. You would always, whenever you would feel that thing, you would hear this. Okay. Or you would, feel this heat. So that's the first question that you should answer for yourself: by choice or by compulsion. I still remember one of my colleague. He at that point of time he had his MCA degree, and that was a time of recession when he joined us. Okay. But he was practically clear on this idea. He said that, sir, once I would teach with all my sincerity and everything, but once this recession is over, I would get back into job. I would go back into my IT field. That's what my love is. That's where I actually see myself, that I belong to that idea. Today serving with a very good organization in US. Okay. So he taught with us for around 1.5 year. During these years, he was completing his certification. He was equally equipping students with certification and everything, and he left. Do you have, if you're young to this profession, do you have this clarity in mind? Okay. Just because you had no other way to go around, you joined this. Is that, if that is so, then your path would be different. If that is not so, then you would answer, then you should look into the next drive. That, despite of all what we have talked about, okay, we have talked about office politics and whatnot, okay, you would still stand courageous in your class. I remember I had given you an opening case. Okay. You would stand against all odds, because that is what Gita tells you. You have to do things because it is your duty to do it. Okay. You have to stand against all odds because it's your duty to do so. That's what Gita preaches us all. That Arjuna asked Krishna that, why should I fight? Okay. I'm not getting into the details of it. Why should I fight? And Shri Krishna replied, you should fight. Finally, he had given him some material things, that, okay, if you fight, you would have this vast kingdom. If you, die as a matriarch, then you would have heaven to abode, and all that thing. And since Arjun questioned again, he answered the final thing, that you should fight because it's your karma, it's your duty, it's your it's your dharma to fight, because it's your bestowed in your duty as a Kshatri, that you must, as a Kshatri, you cannot renounce your duty to fight. That's what, as a teacher, we all do. Okay. We have got our own fights. We have got, maybe that we may be, yes, as in, ma'am said it very right. We all are individuals. We may be feeling that family things. There are certain things which are going in our family. Everything is happening. Somebody is not keeping well. As a mother teacher, you may realize this. that your son or daughter is not keeping well. You have just left him from the doctor's place. You have just back. You've given him or her medicine. Uh, Half of your, but you have got a certain assignment, important assignment comes. So you have just rushed in from your home, giving medicine and leaving him with some maid or someone. And you, as a mother, you have just rushed in. Okay. I can feel that, you can feel that how much pressure you would be getting into. If you would have given this opportunity, you would have not stepped out. Okay. But you stepped out because it's your student's assignment also due. Okay. So that's what I said. At times, that's where, take today's example. You all have worked hard in your own day. Okay. It, either some of you, I can see some of you were attending this session from car, or some of you are just reached home. Your family would be expecting something from you, or you would be, just getting out and doing some other family course, maybe preparing dinner or something. It's not that easy. Whatever, it's not that easy that you find that time for self. You find time amongst all odd for your students and everything. It's something which goes beyond a normal job requirement. And that is where we are respected. That is where I started with saying this thing, that still we maintain the nobility of profession. And that is what is the nobility of the cause. You put in extra efforts to explain students, you put in extra things to do, get on to examples and whatnot. And maybe that you're not just over with things. You may come from a party early because tomorrow you have got the first class, you have to prepare that something, you have to, some idea just struck you, so you're trying to incorporate into your example and things like that. That's what is the dharma. Okay. That's what is the nobility. And please understand one simple thing. For all these years, I have believed in this thing. If you want it, you can do it. What you would, what uh, Disney also says. You might have heard this line from Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. Nothing in the system can stop you from delivering a good lecture in organization to your students. Nothing in this organization can stop you from delivering a good lecture to a student. Can anything, please? I don't see that. Students deserve this. Our first responsibility, and that is why I call them as students, not as customers. And many a times I confront of, whenever somebody does a so-called loose talk in the organization, that after all, you should be taking care of them. They are your customers. And I vehemently go against them, that they are not my customers, because as a customer I have got a limited, it would not enshrine upon me the idea of duty. It would be a service. Okay, a paid type of a service. I'm not here in a paid service. I'm in a profession, and as they are my responsibility. And when I say that they are my students, it becomes an extra added moral responsibilities. That's where, ethics comes in, and that's where nobility of this idea comes in. So nothing, that's the starting question I asked you. Even if you might have, or you had a bad day, you might be running around in during the day. Yesterday night your father was ill, you had left him at the hospital and just, rushed in to take the class. You still take the class and then leave. Okay. So that's one point is, nothing can, make you or it's our, it's our limitations. Bosses don't allow us, this don't allow us. You can always look out for these things. As as a teacher, you might have traveled distances to actually find examples for for the students. You might have noticed certain things while you are traveling, and then you are taking that example and giving it to students. Okay. So your teacher mind is activated almost every time. It doesn't shut down. That's what, that's what makes you a teacher, and that's what we are talking about when it comes to making difference in someone's life. And to sum up what I have told, what we have discussed on this idea. Okay, this is where my general ideas on to, of all the, if experiences that I can put together. um, and finally, I would like to end up my discussion with a small video for you, and then I would open up for anything that you want to share upon. Have a look at this.
I remember when I decided to be a teacher, thinking it'd be easy, because I just spent the last 15 years in school surrounded by these people trying to teach me. Most of my life has been in school. This job will be breezy. I'd make jokes with kids, share lots of stories, transform lives, make them fall in love with books, perfect my teacher looks, and ensure every kid thrives. It's school. I mean, I'm kind of a fool, but how hard can it be? I think a lot of people believe this job would be easy. But then in my first year, that kid who I poured my heart into dropped out. And it became clear that my jokes didn't carry enough clout. And I had that one class that was so loud that I had to shout. I told myself I would never be that teacher. That's not what I'm about. But then after that moment, I felt my first self-doubt. I remember when that parent burst into my room demanding that I boost her child's grade. And she called me a liar when I told her how he behaved. And that school grade came back that said our work was deficient, and pressure from the district would be applied until all of our students scored proficient. How do you teach a kid when their belly is empty, or teach work ethic to students who come from plenty? I thought I'd instantly be a master at leading students who are willing and able, but they stare at their phones under the table. I remember my first class had over 30 kids in the room, and that number doubled for teachers when school was moved to Zoom. Yet the expectation is excellence for those standardized tests that loom. And here I was thinking I'd be a gardener trying to help some flowers bloom. Teaching isn't easy. But when that other student who was fighting bleak odds walked across the graduation stage to a deafening applause, I couldn't help but tear up as I sat here in awe and realized there really is something special about this job. Standardized tests and school grades can still cause me misery, but few things compare to when our students are achieving victory, like watching them read for the first time, or discovering that that math problem is a hill that they can climb, or finding the bravery to speak up in class and deliver a line, or getting a letter from them years later telling you that you helped them shift their paradigm. When a kid falls in love with reading, or students have deep discussions without your pleading, or you can make them see that when it comes to succeeding, there is no ceiling. You're reminded that this career is one worth leading. There's parts of the education system that can cause so much strife, yet there's parts of being an educator that can give you so much life. So if you're not a teacher, just know that this work is challenging, and lend your support. And remember who all of their work is for. Our kids, our community, our society. It's for all of us. And if you are an educator, may you discover the joy often hidden beneath the surface, and find those moments that make this demanding work worth it. And feel relieved of this pressure to always be perfect, and know that there are many of us who appreciate your service. And may everyone watching this recognize and support it.
Very nice, sir.
Anyone? Any questions if you want to ask me? Or if you want to share, this platform is now open for every one of us. So thank you for your kind words, appreciation. It actually helps us to improve on that. Thank you very much for your feedback. Thank you everyone.
Thank
So
you,
if
sir.
you have got anything, thank you, Pritima. So if you have got anything that you want to share, or any questions that you feel that out of my little knowledge I can help you with, I would be all here. So just
Sir, may I share my query?
yes, Fakshar, please go ahead.
Sir, there is always, as this whole session, there was some important points about this pressure of grades from family, from students, and that also puts teachers under pressure. So, can't we get away with these grades and let the students learn in the schools? Just there should be no grades at all. Let the students and teachers be free from worry.
Ishfaq sir, the idea sounds good, but I give this example to many of my students, and I give it to you also. Have you enrolled yourself for PhD, or
Yeah,
have you done your PhD?
I'm in the third year of my PhD.
Great. Simple. How do I don't want, again, remember that you're in on a public platform. How do you find it to be like, the process to be like? What let me clarify, let me expand this question. In whatever
Yes,
post graduation you might have done, whether it might was semester system or yearly system,
yes,
you
sir.
have this in mind that by this semester I would be finishing off with this subjects, or this course is to be done by this semester, or this at the end of this year there would be an exam. Okay,
Yes,
that is not the case in PhD.
yes, sir.
Okay, so what happens? It takes good enough time for whatever reasons. I'm not getting into the reasons as of now, but it takes its own sweet time to do, or to from travel from Ishfaq Ahmad to Dr. Ishfaq Ahmad. That journey would take you some more time, maybe. Okay,
Exactly.
the stipulated time is 3 years as per the UGC norm as of now. So
Yes, sir.
that's what that's what I believe is my hint to your question. Okay,
Mhm.
that at times it's not about, see, you can always look out for a differential evaluation pattern. Okay, as
Mm.
you know, as I've taught for almost 10-12 years in a UK university.
Sir,
So
may I just add on my point?
please.
It's just my own personal opinion, sir. You can rectify me better, and you can
No,
shape my
please.
opinion better, sir. I believe this grading system, uh,
Mhm.
from the primary schools to the university level, I think this grading system is bit like capitalism.
Hmm.
It's just teaching us, it's teaching us the rat rate of that survival for the
Hmm,
fittest,
hmm, hmm,
race of
hmm,
the survival. And I
hmm.
believe it should be democratic. Education should be democratic. There should be
It is.
no such grading tensions. Just go there in the university, in the colleges, schools, enjoy yourself, have a bit of a fun, learn whatever you want to learn.
Inspector, that's what my point is. It's easier said than done types. One point.
Exactly, sir,
Okay.
exactly.
Second idea, as I was sharing with you, that I have taught for almost 11-12 years in a UK based university. And I understand that this idea that, if you can assess the same student on a different parameter, okay,
Yes, sir.
like say, I was an external examiner with some universities which follow a Viva based system, the jury based system. Okay, so you can
Yes, sir.
always look out for a better way of assessment rather than that pen paper type only, or you are limiting to certain ideologies in assessment or evaluation pattern.
Exactly, sir.
So my point is that it's not the evaluation, Ishfaq sir, for I beg to differ with you. It's not the evaluation which is a question. It's the pattern of evaluation that should be a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because what skills you want to develop. See, as since we are all watching, you might be watching some matches with Champions Trophy. So what is a bowler expected to do? He is to bowl in those direction where the field is set. If you're bowling and the batsman is expected to drive in such or play a shot in such a way that it passes through the fielders. So in this
Exactly.
race of ball and bat, somebody wins. Okay, so one who excels, one his job better would win. I understand it's a simple way. So you are trying to teach a certain subject with what objectives you are trying to teach. What is what is your essential idea out of that? Even your assessment idea should be clear. That
So, sir,
what is what is your objective assessment?
sir,
And if that,
education.
yes.
So, sir, I thought I was thinking like this way that learning should be the process of enlightenment. But if you bring it bat and ball between who wins, bowler and the batsman, that then it becomes again the competition, win or lose, and that puts the people in the pressure. I think if we make it more democratic, even if you are
Then
playing the ball in the
Pushpa,
hands of
sir,
a fielder.
I'm again I would like to bit differ from your idea. Train your kids, your especially we all have been trained by our parents that we should handle, we should be able to handle the pressure. See, when we grow up, we try and become independent. And independence is always taught by one basic idea, that you must be able to live under the sun. Once you get out of the shelter, once you are under parent shelter, it's always it's always shelter. But once you are out in the sun, you are out actually in the sun. That's how I personally believe that all students should be taught as to how to deal a life, the pressures in life in more better and meaningful way. The ideas may be different, okay, but that should be what I believe is the ultimate objective of education, of of everything, that how we can become a better human being. The way you can make it, that's up to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
That's what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Shwak sir.
It was really insightful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Shwak sir. Thank you. Your answers were equally insightful.
Thank
Sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So, in any other questions, queries, or any other would like to share off, or shall we call it a good evening? Okay, I believe things are fairly done. So, I thank you all for being, for being such a good participants, for listening to me. As I always, appreciate that after having an entire working day, you spend 1.5 hours with me. Okay, that needs an effort. Okay, that actually needs what I should say, that actually needs an appreciation. That actually I should be appreciating on that idea. That it's and especially after being a teacher, I'm talking from a very personal idea, that especially after being a teacher, it becomes difficult to listen. Okay, since you are students, it's okay, but that's what I I always feel grateful that my colleagues are here from different parts of countries who have joined in. So thank you, RFI. Thank you, Nikita ma'am. You have been a great host for this evening. You have been a great coordinator, and Yogesh bhai, you have been a great support from RFI. Once again, thank you to Saurabh sir and Ajay Jain sir. Thank you all my colleagues. It was great talking to you. Uh, Thank you, everyone. Have a very
Thank
good
you
evening
so
ahead.
much, sir, for such a wonderful and excellent session. And just like every time you have put your all the efforts, like you have given your 100% efforts to make this session wonderful and successful. So without your efforts, this can't be possible. So our
Thank
whole
you.
RFI team is
Kind of
really
you.
thankful to you, sir, for
So
your
kind for
all
you.
the efforts. And thanks to all the participants for being very good listener and cooperative during the session. So see you all again tomorrow on the same platform, same time with new topic and new experience. So till then, take care everyone. And once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time. Good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you.